Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Bank of the West is offering the 1% for the Planet checking account. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. There's no monthly service charge with any deposit per statement, and there's no minimum balance required. The 1% for the Planet checking account, only from Bank of the West. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
The Bachelorette
and Friends.
From first love to happy ever after.
What's that?
From dating to dick pics.
Oh my. Oh no!
The Bachelorette and Friends. Oh, I love a good dick.
This podcast contains sexual references, coarse language, and adult themes from the beginning and throughout. It is not recommended for listeners under the age of 15.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Bachelorette and Friends. I'm Carla Anita Matiazzo, and today's guest is Holly Matheson. She is an actor, a creator, producer, an all-round fabulous production manager. Welcome to the show, Holly.
Thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
No worries, Possum. So should we bring the audience up to speed on how we met and how we know each other?
I think we should. I think we've got a bit of history. I think we go way back to Les Miserables, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, we do. Shit, that's a long time ago.
Long time. I reckon 2012 is when we first met.
Yeah. 2011, 2012. Yep.
Yeah.
And that was through, who was that through again? Who did that production?
So that was through Shane Davidson.
That's right.
Yeah. And I don't know if I met you at the auditions, but I think I met you after, and you were just so bubbly, and I was like, you seem cool.
Yeah, we vibed straight away, I think, Holly. And then we've kept in touch on and off ever since then, I think, because we've both been off on different adventures performing arts-wise. Can you tell the audience a little bit about your most recent adventure in America?
Sure can. I was very lucky to I auditioned and took part in a one-on-one acting program in Los Angeles. That was called Hollywood Immersive. So I got to fly over, and it was the most awesome experience. I had one-on-one acting coaching. I recorded another podcast, which was really cool. I worked with, just some incredible people in the industry, studied comedy at the Upright Citizens Brigade. And pretty much just had the time of my life. So that was before COVID.
Before COVID, yes. As soon as you said time of your life, all I could hear is that song in my head.
The
time of my life. Yep.
No, yeah. They were the good old days, which is, it's a very strange times now.
It is, definitely. Just to bring the listeners up to speed, this podcast is based on the premise of my award-winning cabaret show, The Bachelorette. There's always a catch, where I talk and sing about my first love to what I thought was happy ever after and everything in between. And I mean everything. So let's start there, Holly, with you. So can you remember your first crush?
Oh, I can remember very well. Yeah, I was in kindergarten.
In kindy?
I was in kindy, yep. And I remember, like, I was so obsessed with him. And we had this day where we had to dress up as like Disney princes and princesses. So I dressed up as Cinderella and he came as the prince.
Oh, hello.
And we had like the playground, like the bridge. And I remember doing this walkover and he was standing there. And I reckon I would have been about, like 3 or 4. I honestly thought I was going to marry the guy.
Oh.
I was just so smitten by him. I can't even remember his name, but I can like see it clear as day.
So what happened from there? Did anything blossom from that Disney experience at kindy?
I feel like I gave him a little peck on the cheek. I did. Yeah, I definitely gave him a peck on the cheek. Yeah, I think there's a photo of it as well. I'm in this cute little Disney princess dress.
Okay, so from kindy, there must have been some more crushes in primary school. Do you remember any of those?
Oh yeah. See, I'm a sucker for love. I was always kind of, I was grown up like watching all the Disney movies, Titanic, and I was always just wanting my Leo. So I was always kind of obsessed with like finding the right man, and having this picture perfect life. So yeah, from primary school, I was on the hunt straight away. I had few year seven boyfriends. One gave me a little love heart necklace. I think we had like matching ones, engraved them, and I thought I'd marry him too. Trying to find.
So you had like those best friend little things that like would go together. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, they match like little love heart little things that match together. So we have one of them, and I thought
have that.
I don't know. I don't know where it is. Mum's probably like saved it somewhere, stuffed it in the cupboard.
Oh, how adorable. Okay, so in the podcast, obviously we refer back and forth to the cabaret show and then what we're talking about in the podcast. And in the cabaret show, as you know, because you've seen it, I talk about one of my high school boyfriends, my most significant high school boyfriend. So I have referred to these high school boyfriends in previous podcasts like training wheel relationships, because that's where you work out your boundaries, what you want, what you like, what you don't like. And it's in a relatively safe environment in that you don't have any adult responsibilities. So you get to have fun and enjoy just being in a relationship, in inverted commas. So can you remember any of your training wheel relationships in high school, Holly?
Training wheel relationships. Oh, I remember just being incredibly heartbroken during high school.
Oh, why?
Again, I was just, I had this one boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
He broke up with me on Christmas Day.
Oh, what an asshole.
He just shattered me. But I think I definitely learned a lot. Like he was so many like different experiences. But yeah, he's the one that really sticks out. But he was a bit older than me, I can remember.
So how did that all start? How did that relationship start?
I think I was at like a year 10 party. Yeah. And I was like, oh, he's cute. And then I think I think we had like maybe MSN or something. No, MySpace. Maybe that was the MySpace days. I can't remember. I think I sent him a message somehow through there, and I was like, "Hey, you're really cute." Then we just got together, and I think that lasted a whole 8 months.
So okay, that's good. So you kind of made the first initial contact. So how did it get from you going, "Hey, I think you're cute" on MySpace to an 8-month relationship? What were the steps there, Holly?
Oh wow. Well, I think we can't even remember. I think we went to we had like sports day.
Yep.
And then
what happened at sports day?
That was like our date. Sports day was in the team green.
Oh shit. Yep.
I honestly can't remember. It's so long ago. And then I don't know what we did. He asked me to be his girlfriend. I think we started going to events together, and then he asked me out, and I was like, sure, because he was gorgeous at the time. And then the rest was history.
What happened
at Christmas Day?
Ah, yeah. So
he sent me a text. It's over.
Well, that's nice. I wonder why I would love to hear from him why Christmas Day and why
I
just the two words of it's over. Like,
Over. And I remember, like, I even bought him a really nice Christmas present, and I was so sad, and I just spent the whole day crying in bed because it was like my first real heartbreak. I honestly couldn't see past like my life in the future without this guy.
oh, Holly. So what did you do to get yourself out of that heartbreak as a year 11? So you were what, 17?
No, it would have been year 10. So
Okay.
yeah, so year 10. I changed schools. I went to a completely different school, which helps. I changed environments, and then I had awesome friends that just kind of were there to pick me up.
Oh, that's good.
That's amazing. Definitely a life experience, that's for sure.
So you would tell people to help with heartbreak, surround themselves by
just surround yourself with awesome people. They definitely lift your spirits. I was so lucky to have beautiful friends at the time that just had my back.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So then from there, and the lessons you learnt from your training wheel relationship, what happened when you hit adultdom? How long did you hit the dating scene for, and then what happened there?
Wow. Well, I was in year 11, so a year later, and then I met my high school sweetheart. So we stayed together for 10 years.
Oh, shit.
So that was
really
a full-on relationship.
That's a long time.
We grew a lot together, but, sadly grew apart at the end, which often happens.
Because that's really, like, being together for a decade during those formative years is really difficult to stay, I would imagine, to stay together forever because you change so much in your 20s.
Changed so much. Even going through, like, turning 18, and then you turn 21, and then you like for me, I really kind of discovered who I was in like my late 20s. I got back into acting, and that's kind of what, like, we just went separate ways, but very thankful for the time we had together, and definitely shaped who I am now. Yeah.
In what sense, Holly? In what sense?
I just think, like, he really opened me up to the idea of traveling, and to believe in myself, and just to trust myself. So I'm very thankful for him.
Oh, that's good. That's lovely. That's lovely that you don't.
We always grow. Like, we always always continue to grow.
Correct.
Whoever comes into your life.
So did you, Holly, you've touched on a bit before with the kindy dude, and then again with one of the primary school guys, that you thought that you were going to marry them. Did you think with the 10-year dude that you were going to get married?
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
So because that lasted obviously a substantial amount of time, that heartbreak would have been substantial, I would imagine.
Yeah, it was a very, very difficult time, being with someone for 10 years. It's a big chunk of your life, and a very hard decision to make. But yeah, I guess we just grow apart. Sometimes people come into your life for a chapter, and then it's, you develop.
See you later.
Yeah. But yes, that was very difficult. A lot of heartache. So, heartbroken on Christmas Day to a 10-year relationship. No, it's all right. All good.
So from 10 years, how long did it take before you started dating again? Was it hard to go, okay, I think I'm ready to date somebody?
It was hard. It was more scary as well because I, kind of identified myself as being with this other person for so long. So it was Holly out on her own, which was really scary. But I met someone quite quickly. So that kind of, I ended up going to France with him. So that was another big chapter of my life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what would you say to people about dating, what advice would you give the listeners in regards to getting back on that horse and, you know, putting your best self out there and trying to be open, even though I'm sure after 10 years it would be very, very hard to be like, okay, that chapter's done. Now I'm open. Was that a hard transition, and what advice would you give to people that have just come out of a long-term relationship?
Yeah, no, it is a very kind of difficult experience to go through. So my advice would just be give yourself time, and I think you will know when you're ready.
Yeah.
You know, like grief kind of lasts a very long time. Like there's no kind of end to grief. So I think you're always going to love the person that you were with before. So I think it's just, you know, it's really up to the individual, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Completely. And you know, give yourself time. If you feel like you want to go out and date, go do it. Just have fun. Just live life. It's probably my advice.
I think that's excellent advice, Holly. Very good advice. So in your dating journey, have you come across any situations where you have received unsolicited and not requested dick pics?
I actually haven't. I think I've been lucky, but no dick pics, no.
Oh, darling, that is a blessing.
No.
That is a blessing.
I think I would, I don't know what I would do if that popped up on my screen.
Yeah. It's, well, for me, it's a delete and block is what. I'm not about it. Okay, so steering away from dick pics, because we have obviously had very different experiences in that stuff. So do you believe in happy ever after, and what does that look like for you?
See, the thing is, I did believe in happy ever after with someone, but I've changed so much because I believe happy ever after is with yourself. So I'm all for just being happy within yourself and not relying on someone else for your own happiness. It's all within you. That's probably the one thing I have learnt.
Yeah.
I've kind of shifted away from that concept of the perfect one that you live happily ever after with.
I agree with that, actually. I think I think Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith describe that concept very well in regards to you've got to fill your own cup first and then your partner, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Overflow, yeah.
Exactly. I trust the universe. I'm that kind of person. So
yeah. So I think it's really important for two individuals to be content and happy with what they've got going on in their lives, and then you can bring the best version of who you are into that relationship.
Yeah, 100%.
That's theoretically what I think. What would I know? I've been single so long, Holly. Fuck knows. That's like, in theory, that's how I hope it goes next time. So do you have any deal breakers, Holly?
Deal breakers? Yes, I probably do. Someone who doesn't like spaghetti. That's just a no for me. I've had that. One guy on one date straight up said, I don't like pasta. And I was like, oh, look at the time. Oh, sorry, I've got to run. You don't like pasta, you don't like food, it's just not going to work for me.
No. You got to eat with somebody.
You have to. And spaghetti, how can you not like spaghetti? Spaghetti's life.
So speaking of spaghetti, before we get back to the rest of your deal breakers, have you had spaghetti in Italy?
I have had spaghetti in Italy.
Whereabouts in Italy was your spaghetti orgasm?
Oh, where did I have it? Amalfi Coast was really nice. Palermo, that was Sicily, had really good spaghetti.
Oh, great. Awesome. I think my favourite, it's a toss-up between Verona and...
Oh, I want to go to Verona.
and I think it was Trieste. I think it was in like a suburb that you would just like drive. Viorba, that's what it was. A suburb that you just drive through. It's not aesthetically pleasing. It's a suburb like you know you'd find in Adelaide. But they had this. My dad's cousin's husband was the head chairperson of some club, and he took us there, and oh my God, the fucking pasta was so good.
Get in my belly.
It was so good. And like the ingredients were so simple, like they don't overdo it. It's a few things and it's like, oh fuck, this is excellent.
Like tomato, basil, chili. Oh,
yep.
That is my food.
It's all grown out in their yards or whatever. Like I remember when I used to grow my vegetables, when I used to live in my nonna's house, the difference between a tomato that I grew in the backyard in my veggie patches in comparison to the tomatoes in the supermarket, oh my God, there's such a massive difference. Like when you pick it from the vine out in your veggie patch, it's like sweet.
It does not even compare.
No.
It was like that when I was over in France, like making the homemade tomato sauce from the tomatoes out of the ground.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Nothing compares. Olive oil, and then you simmer it, I think, for like a good 2 hours.
Yeah.
And there's like nothing in it. It takes me back. Now I want spaghetti.
Oh, man.
You go out for dinner after? Thanks.
Okay, let's get back to the deal breakers. Otherwise, I'll get too hungry and I won't be able to last the podcast, Holly. Okay, so if you don't like pasta, then don't bother, Holly, because it's not going to work.
I had this one guy, I went on a date with him, like first date, and he goes to me, like he scrolled through my Instagram and he was like, there's no photos of you in your bikini. Like, you should put some up. And I was like, excuse
me? What the fuck?
And then, he was disgusting. And then, so we were in the cinema when he said that. So I had to sit through the whole movie, wanting to like escape. And then as I walked out, he slapped my ass.
Yeah, that's not okay.
And I was like, who do you think you are, bucko? Like, so that's number one deal breaker as well. Yeah. Like, don't comment on my body.
Nah.
Or like slap my ass. Like, no way.
Oh God. That makes me feel a bit sick, Holly. Like, it's interesting because usually guys, from my experience, why are you putting, like, not that I do, but from what I've heard, when women put like bikini photos on Instagram and stuff, a lot of dudes are like, take that down. You can't be putting your body out there like that. So for the fact that he was like, why are you not putting your, but yeah, I don't know. And then just
didn't sit right with me.
Nah, you got to go with your gut.
No.
Yes, 100%. I don't know. On the first, I'm assuming it was an online dating thing.
It was it was.
Yeah.
So, I know it was a horrible experience.
So I
think I deleted, like I was like, no more dates.
Yeah. I don't understand how he would have thought that was appropriate. First time meeting you, going on a date, going to the movies, and then he thinks, I'm just going to slap her on the ass. Like, sorry, we've just met. What? I don't understand it.
It was this guy. Yep. So that was, that's like a deal breaker for me. Yeah. I'm traumatized from that experience.
So just people not knowing where their boundaries are, is that what the deal breaker is?
I think that's, just know your boundaries. Know how to treat a woman. Like it's, some men out there really.
Yeah, the mutual respect has to go both ways, I think. And do you think, You've always had a very good, healthy, balanced self-worth. Holly, do you think that has helped you in your relationships?
I think so. Yeah, I definitely think so. I've always tried to, I guess, love myself and respect myself and know enough to, know when the boundaries have been crossed, and how I should be treated.
Yeah, correct.
I think that's, like my past relationships have taught me that as well, like how you should be treated. And it's just with respect.
Are there any lessons that you have learned in your past relationships from the other person, the way that they've conducted themselves, or upon reflection, how you would play things differently?
I think I've learned a lot, like in myself, about communication. I think that's the key as well. In past relationships is like not holding back and just having like a really open communication with each other.
Yes.
That would be the number one for me. Number one lesson I've learned over my past experiences. Communication. I'm trying to think what else.
So why? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I've lost my train of thought now. No, you're right.
Why is communication so important, Holly? Can you break that down for us, please?
I just think it's, you both need to know where you stand, and you need to know each other's needs and just be really open with each other, and honest, like honesty. Mm-hmm. Honesty is a big one for me, and loyalty. Some of the big values. But definitely just having that, just be open to each other.
Yeah.
Communicate how you feel, because I feel like if things are sometimes not said, that's when the trouble starts.
Yeah.
The problems start if you're not communicating how you feel. Yeah.
So what would you say to yourself from where you are in your life now to the younger version of Holly? If you were able to go back in time, wave a wand and, magically appear in front of yourself at pivotal moments, relationship-wise or dating-wise or whatever, what advice would you give yourself?
I think I opened my heart too easily. Yep. And I just kind of gave everything to the person that I was with, and I put aside myself. So if I could go back in time, I would just say, Holly, I wish you had focused more on yourself and your own needs, as opposed to putting all this wasted energy on men that just broke my heart. So at the end of the day, it's just just love yourself. Nothing else really matters.
So would you say that people out there listening to this podcast, if you are in your formative years as a late teen, early 20s, would you say take your time to get to know yourself before you are
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. But I think we still I don't think you ever stop learning about yourself.
Correct. Yeah.
I think you're always changing and experiencing different things that, definitely change who you are at that present moment. But completely, you're just always changing. I feel like I've lost my train of thought again.
So would you say a good relationship would be with somebody who you adore and like in the moment, and somebody who's open to life's changes and evolving independently and together as a couple? Is that something that you want in a relationship?
Yeah, 100%. I think you need to be sure of who you are as an individual, and then when you come together, it's even more powerful. So, yeah, I agree. Sorry, my dog. Can you hear my dog? She's growling in the background.
No, I can't. My two dogs are behind me half asleep.
Some food, Holly.
Well, Max is eating his foot. He's eating his foot. So have you come across, in the cabaret show, I talk about the catches that I've encountered. And for example, one of my catches is the feedback that I've gotten from all of my adult partners is I use too much toilet paper. So that's one of my catches. And then, for example, I talk about family as being a catch, especially if some family members don't like you. And time can be a catch, and being too much can be a catch. Do you have any catches, or have you stumbled across some catches in your journey with love?
With love. Oh, definitely. Like now you mentioned like family and time.
Yeah.
They're probably the main ones that have popped up for me in my past. I'm trying to think of any others.
Would there be some stories that would link with your experience with time or family as a catch, Holly?
Well, I've always found it difficult to befriend the mother. So that's been a big catch for me, like coming into the family and trying to get on the mother's good side, especially when she has her son. That's quite a challenge.
Yes. Do you think it's a territory thing? Do you think it's a territory thing maybe?
I think so. Yeah.
And you dated a lot of European boys as well. I imagine that would.
I have. I'm a bit of a.
I think that would play a part in it.
Drawn to the internationals. Yeah. So, definitely has played a part because family is such a big a part of their culture and yes. life. And I guess it is here too in Australia, but it's a bit different. We're quite different. Yeah.
It's different.
So yeah, it's very difficult. Especially like my challenge, like going over to France. I had the language barrier as well, so I couldn't speak French, and I spent 3 months over in the south of France.
Which would have been beautiful, but fuck, that would have been hard.
Oh, it was amazing, but it was so difficult. So let alone had the challenge of, trying to be friendly with the whole family, but I couldn't even communicate with them. So
how did you overcome that, Holly? How did you fix that situation?
I just smiled. I hope my smile would, I don't know, win them over. Smile, cooked them food and bought them wine. That's
good. The food and wine would have helped.
Yeah, food and wine.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it, going into a family? It's funny though. There's been some relationships that I've had where I've loved the in the end, I've loved the family.
Oh, yeah. No, me too. I've been there as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is so hard when you know that the family doesn't like you.
It's very difficult.
Because you feel like you have to constantly prove yourself and prove why you're worth being in that dynamic. It's fucking exhausting.
Horrible. Completely knocks your self-esteem as well. Like I remember being in that relationship and just feeling completely crap. It was just, horrible feeling.
It was ridiculous though, really, because we're all human. Yes, some humans are better in the sense of being good humans than others, but I don't know. I still think you should go into situations assuming that people are going to be good, and then
I think so.
Going with your gut, and if your gut's like, oh, I'm not quite sure about that person, then your gut's usually right. Well, that's my experience.
Yeah, I'm the same, but I always it's funny when you're in experiences, I can feel my gut, but I never listen to it. I don't know if you've got the same issue. It's like how to separate your gut and your head, and you get these feelings at the start, and then it's almost like it's telling you, don't go there, and then you do anyway, and then you end up getting your heart broken. Or I'm sorry, my dog.
No, you're fine.
Shh. No, she's so loud. My apologies.
It's fine.
But yeah, I think when you get them first gut instincts, it's just trust it. Try and listen to yourself.
There's still even recently I've had situations where I know my first interaction with someone, not necessarily being in a romantic situation, but just in life in general, and going, oh, not quite sure about that person. I can't intellectually justify why I feel like that, but that's just an internal thing that I was feeling. And then I forgot about it, and then I let my guard down and all that kind of stuff. And then there was a situation where I was like, oh, my instinct was fucking right. Why did I not make sure I saw those lights on and that awareness on? And I don't know about you, Holly, but sometimes when that happens, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, I've learned this lesson before. Why am I still fucking learning this lesson,
Yep, I've done that so many times. Every time, majority of the times.
It's hard.
Yeah, it is really, really difficult. I think that's the whole thing about finding yourself and giving yourself time to learn to trust yourself. So I think sometimes being single is the best thing for you. It's, being by yourself.
So why is it the best thing for you, Holly? What benefits do you get out of being single?
I think it's just, really get to enjoy the alone time that you have with yourself and just being at peace with that.
And finding out who you are?
Finding out who you are. I feel like I've changed a lot, since coming out of that 10-year relationship and now the past relationship. I had a good year just being by myself and working out, what I actually want to do in my life, who I am, what I want in someone as well. That's
good. Has
definitely popped out. I'm so thankful for that time. And it's not easy. Sometimes you have that fear of I'm going to be alone forever. And
well, you're certainly not, Holly. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that.
But you do, that's in the back of your head, I think.
Yeah. I know that.
Pushing that thought away and just trusting the universe.
Yes, my little mantra, however you say it, to myself is, if I exist, so does he. That's what I keep telling myself, because I've been single so long now. I'm like, well, yes, I'm 34. Yes, I've never been married. Yes, I don't have any children, and those things I would like. But I don't want to force it. I don't want to get into something just for the sake of it. So I believe that if I exist, so does he. That keeps me hopeful.
Yeah. Have you seen that? Is it the television show Love Life?
No.
Oh, you need to watch it. It's
tell me, what's it about?
All about what we're talking about. It's the central character. She has all these loves. So there's a new love each episode, and some past loves come back, and everything fails and goes wrong. I kind of don't want to give away the end.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to stop here.
Why would I find it, Holly?
I think it's either Netflix or Stan.
Yep.
But it's a must watch. A really very feel good television show.
Brilliant. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Do you have any parting words of wisdom before we leave our guests, Holly?
Oh, parting words of wisdom. This is my one moment. Good thoughts. Mine would just be love yourself. And don't rely on anyone else for happiness.
That's a fantastic note.
No one can fulfill you. It's all yourself. You can only fulfill your own happiness. That would be my one advice to everyone.
Fantastic. I love that.
Don't be fearful. And even if you have had your heart broken, always be open, because I really do believe that new things and new opportunities come in all the time.
Brilliant. Thanks, Chicky Babe, for coming on and having a chat with me today. It's been lovely.
was wonderful. Thanks for having me.
No worries, honey. Love you long time, and I will see you soon.
Love you too. See you soon.
Ciao.
Bye. Ciao.
The Catch-A-Lorette with friends near and far, from heartache to catfish and sex toys. The Catch-A-Lorette and friends. See you next time if you dare.
Bank of the West is offering the 1% for the Planet checking account. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. There's no monthly service charge with any deposit per statement, and there's no minimum balance required. The 1% for the Planet checking account, only from Bank of the West. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.